Hello, viewers. I'm SB, and welcome back to Reus. Oops, sorry. Okay, welcome back to Reus. So here's a couple of new challenges. Now, the full list of challenges is available to us each game. As you saw last game, we can complete as many as we complete, but it suggests 3 to us. And I think this is a good way to sort of direct our play. So try to have a village with only one village, which has 175 prosperity. That's an interesting idea. Or try to get to 250. Or a village that has 200 prosperity and 5 ocean patches. Okay, let's see if we can get a village to found near the ocean. I tried to do it a little bit last time. You don't have a tremendous amount of control over where a village comes down. So let's grab our forest giant. But what we can do to encourage a village to settle near the ocean, which should work, is put the only source of resources 2 patches into the water. Alright, so we'll make some fish here, some mackerel. Mackerel get +1 animal range for each other mackerel within animal range, stacking up to 2 times, which I guess means there's not really any reason not to put a mackerel right here. We might want to save this spot for something else if we're planning to play into a bonus or something. But since this patch is pretty much guaranteed to be out of the village's range for a while, the best thing we can do with it is put a mackerel on it, I think. You cannot, if I remember correctly, make plants in the water, but you can definitely make fish, obviously. So we need to generate 15 wealth and 15 food to put up this shrine, and we'll get +5 food and +10 wealth for each animal within the borders. So we should put down another fish. I think I'm going to try an exotic animal fish, though, because the exotic animal fish will generate a little bit more wealth. And let's put down that mackerel over here, like I said. Okay, so what's the deal with this? This is a clownfish. +2 wealth if next to another clownfish or parrotfish. So we're actually already set. Let's run you over here and put down some minerals and push the wealth up. But we're okay. Well, maybe I want to put, let's put down some chickens. Chickens are the food animal here, I believe. Put down some chickens. So do we want to go for this this only one village? I think so. Let's try that. So we're just going to laser focus on this village. There is unfortunately no blueberries around. Let's put down a blueberry. There's unfortunately no way to speed up the game, so this one will be a little bit slower than some of the future episodes maybe, but that will give us a chance to talk in depth a little bit more about the mechanics. Now, blueberries give more food if they're next to certain kinds of other foods. Apple trees give a lot of food if they're next to animals. So we may want to upgrade this to an animal tree, which means we need access to the fruit aspect, which means that the ambassador we get from this village, from this challenge, is going to be going on our forest giant first. What else can we do we're just kind of waiting around here. This might be a good time to just put down some animals and stuff so that we can see what the different kinds of animals are that are available to us. Alright, so the stoat would like there to be minerals within his range. Let's make that happen. And like I said, we're going to pick you up. Alright, I'll put down a tech mineral right here because currently the city doesn't have any access to tech. +10 tech if next to a plant, but it requires 5 technology in use. So once the city border extends over this, we'll get the tech from this to activate its own symbiosis effect. Alright, so one thing that I haven't mentioned yet is that there are actually different levels of the aspects. You can see here, when I place a fruit aspect onto a plant, it has a 2/3 chance of being a lesser aspect and a 1/3 chance of being a potent aspect. The potent aspect both gives more of the resource that it gives and allows a different set of transformations. So let's show you what I mean here. The forest giant has an ability that increases the fertility of a patch. And actually, these patches are naturally fertile. That's what these little up arrows mean. but we want it on this one. So we're going to temporarily buff the fertility of this patch. And you can see here what we've done is we've made it more likely to get a better aspect. So we're going to drop a fruit aspect on this berry bush and see what we get. We did indeed get potent, so +5 food with an additional food bonus if there's at least 7 natura. We didn't talk about natura yet either. We'll get to that in just a second. Alright, so +8 food and +2 natura for each animal nest next to it. That's a huge amount of food. This village is really growing fast. So natura is a resource that the village doesn't collect, and it doesn't show up down here on the bottom. But each patch has an amount of natura. And usually it is referred to by the thing that you're growing on the patch. It's like if this patch has more than a certain amount of natura, then additional bonuses. So it can be good to push the natura up to get more bonuses from your plants. It's usually plants that benefit from it, not animals or minerals. Okay, well, we are pretty well maxed out for what we can do with this one village at this point. I'm gonna go drop another mackerel, I guess. This is, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna drop another mackerel over here to increase the range of our existing mackerels. And keep in mind, this mackerel will also have its range boosted by 2, so it will be filling this, and this patch. So, contributing 2 patches worth of food. So let's have a look at our existing plants and animals here and see what upgrades into what. We have a locked plant above the apple tree. That's interesting. Chickens can be transmuted into rabbits with the herd aspect, or beavers with the hunt aspect. Neither of which I think we have. What do we have access to? We have growth, leaf, and fruit. So all plant aspects, unfortunately. The stoat can become a fox or a beaver. The stone can become salt or copper. Unfortunately, we're only going to have access to a couple of aspects this game. So who gets what from being a forest? We can get the crystal aspect from a forest ambassador. We can get the exotic aspect from a forest ambassador. And the reaction. Alright, now what we could do here is we could create another village and then intentionally destroy it shortly before the timer runs out, and in doing so gain the ability to get another set of ambassadors. Maybe we should do that. Plus that'll give us a little bit more to do. So let's figure out where do I want to put this mountain? Like over here-ish. And we'll make the resource patch on this side of it. I'm actually not sure. It says finish with only 1 village. I think that might count. Alright, the village is actually growing pretty quickly. I'm gonna make mackerel like as far out as it will as far out as it will keep expanding to. So you can see these patches have a lot of macro bonuses on them. I would really like it to expand out this way and get the technology. Yeah, let's try this. Let's see if we can make a... Actually, I want to try to herd them toward the mountain, because there's a couple of projects that only occur on the mountain. So I want to leave like enough space for a village between the resource and the mountain, but not a lot of space on the other side of the resource, because I want to tempt them into this area. I'm not going to make a 3rd village, probably, because I don't want to have to try to... Oh, seems the plant's doing fine, but not really advancing. Hey, don't tell me how prosperity works. I know how prosperity works. Game's all trying to be helpful. Alright, this village will give us a project soon, I'm sure. In the meantime, let's zoom in and have a look at the graphics. In future plays, even though I said the game is chill, and I like to think of the game as a cool, fun-time game, things are going to get hectic eventually. So this might be a good time to really enjoy the graphics. You can see here the art, the shrine has given these guys like vestments, which is pretty cool. And the shrine itself, I mean, all of the art in the game is fantastic. Alright, these guys want a tool shop. Hey, we're very familiar with that. So plus wealth and minerals for... or plus wealth and tech for minerals. Well, let's put down a stone, I guess. Boom. Problem solved. Is there anything we can do to this village to make it grow any more powerful and wealthy? Because I'd really like them to start up another project. But we can talk a little bit about the other resources, too. There are 2 more resources that we haven't really done much with. Okay, they finally grew out over this. And when they hit 5 technology in use, when this climbs to 5, this will gain another 10 tech. So that's a good amount of value. Another thing we can do is we can put a stoat over here. It'll add a little bit more wealth to the village. Okay, what was I saying? Yes, there's a couple more resources that we haven't really talked about yet. First of all, danger. Danger? Oh, something else settled? Oh, okay, whatever. We'll deal with it. Danger causes the villagers to not grow their greed. If danger is too high, the villagers don't have time to be greedy because they're too busy fighting for their lives. If the danger gets too high, the village will die. So we have to manage it carefully, but we can use danger to cap out the villagers' greed, basically. Okay. Our important village of Greendam wants to upgrade its shrine to a temple. So we need to get to 70 food, 70 wealth, and we're actually very close. In addition to the food and wealth for animals, having at least 2 animal sources of the same kind will yield different food, wealth, and awe bonuses. For deers, boars, javelinas maybe? I don't know. Monal, and gray foxes. Unfortunately, none of which we have access to. Alright, now we finished our desert ambassador. Who's got... Okay, predator aspect. There we go. I think we want to pick up a boost to animals. So we're going to have our swamp guy go over there and get that. And these guys are trying to build a trade post. Plus 15 wealth for each plus 15 wealth for each mineral. And they only want to get to 30 wealth. So we can just pop down a precious mineral or 2. We may not have to destroy this village. This village might get destroyed by the people of Greendam. So we didn't see it last time, but you'll notice there's a city strength and a city defense value and some talk about war and stuff. If a village's greed gets too high, it may go to war with its neighbors to take their stuff. Plus 8 wealth if next to another quartz. Well, when his thing is off cooldown, we'll put down another quartz there. Huh. Oh, it's not next to a plant. That's right. We put down stoats. The stoats are currently contributing 3 wealth. They're currently contributing 6 wealth into the borders of the town. It would be better for us to just put down a plant, actually, because that would trade out 6 wealth for 10 tech. It's a little bit more prosperity. Okay. What exactly was I trying to do here? I was trying to get my food and wealth up. So we picked up a new aspect. Let's see what we can do with it. Predator aspect. Where's those stoats? Which is the patch that has the stoats on it? A predator aspect will allow us to make a fox out of a stoat, because that's how biology works. Since our forest giant is right here, we may as well have him drop that fertility boost. Try to get a greater predator aspect, or a potent predator aspect, rather. I shouldn't say greater, because what I meant was the English definition more great, but in fact greater is one of the qualities of essence. So plus 1 wealth, plus 1 danger. He would give another point of wealth if we had enough nature on the patch. There is actually 4. It's not too far off. But I don't really have access to a lot of the things that boost it, unfortunately. So plus 2 wealth for each rabbit, beaver, or chicken within range. Well, there are chickens here. If we change these blueberries out, we could put down another chicken. But that would not allow us to get the benefit of the stone garden symbiosis. So at this point, you're probably it's probably becoming pretty obvious what's going on with the way the resources interact with each other and stuff. Let's see if we can upgrade our fish. So we could make sea bass Sea bass give food and hunt on smaller fish to go larger. We cannot upgrade to a parrotfish. And in fact, both mackerel and clownfish seem to have the same upgrade path. So why don't we upgrade the clownfish to a sea bass? Can we use your ability again? It is on cooldown. It doesn't look like it's on cooldown for much longer, though. And this guy needs to lay down another precious mineral. Okay. Wow, 66. That was quite a jump. You should fertility boost, and let's transmute some fish into some different fish. So we're adding a small amount of danger to the village. The amount of danger that the village can handle, I think, is based on its strength. You can see here, it shows us 8 and 16. These are the, we gotta be careful. We're almost overdoing it already. Okay, so sea bass gets +3 food if there's mackerel or clownfish within its range. Sorry about that. Somebody is being incredibly loud outside. And they give food and a little bit of gold. So we got another desert ambassador. What would that give us access to? Who doesn't have an ambassador yet? You would get access to your monsoon ability, which basically allows a large area to get a fertility boost. Or we could put it on him and get the noble aspect, allowing us to upgrade minerals. Let's do that. When we're still in this sort of simple early version of the game, we don't so much need access to the improved abilities, but the abilities will become important when we try to move into the next set of eras. So 56 wealth. It's actually above the cap. It's declining slowly. Having at least 2 animal sources of the same kind will yield different bonuses. So the issue is we no longer have 2 different mackerel sources within the thing, so we're not getting double bonuses for that. But I think what we want to do actually is probably make another sea bass. No. Yeah, actually. We need to increase the amount of money that is available here. Oh, but sea bass is really dangerous for us because the city's pretty close to its danger cap already. If we were to transmute this into if we were to put down a predator aspect, we would gain 1 danger here, here, and here. And I think that means that we wouldn't quite go over. I think this line is like 17s on this side, 18s on that side. But I'm not 100% sure, and I'm a little reticent to test it. We are over the amount of food that we need, though, right? Yeah, so I think actually we could afford to replace... There we go. Bring the food down and the money up. Unfortunately, that's too far down. Oh no, 70's fine. 70's actually what we're looking for. Okay, we could put a predator aspect on these clownfish, because only 2 of their patches are within the city limits. But I'm not going to, because if we did that and then the city borders expanded, the city would be overwhelmed. Overwhelmed by the incredibly dangerous sea bass. Yeah, it sounds a little silly to me too, but this is the way things are. Okay, 25 wealth and 25 iron for technology for each iron and copper within the borders. I'm not sure that we can make iron or copper. Where is our metal? Copper would require a reaction aspect. The reaction aspect is on the swamp guy. You can tell by the color of it. So you see this one's kind of, the lesser crystal aspect is sort of yellow and blue, which is the color scheme of this guy's aspects. The reaction aspect would require a forest ambassador. Oh, actually we are about to get one. And city prosperity needs to be 175, which is actually, we're very close. The city's not actually expanding any further this way. If we put a fruit plant over here, we might be able to get the food output of this thing up. I guess the other thing we could do is we can make this an apple tree and put an animal over here instead. That's probably a better idea. Let's do a fertility boost and then put a potent fruit aspect out. Make this an apple tree. And then make this an animal instead. What do we need? Do we need a fruit? Do we need a food animal? I'm gonna make it an exotic animal. And I mean, we may as well throw another fruit aspect on there. What is the leaf? It does technology and natura. Actually, why don't we do that? Let's put a leaf aspect on here while this is still powered up. Okay, so now it's putting out a fair amount of natura. We're still not getting it super high. Okay, so we have a forest guy. I think we're going to pick him up with the swamp. Oh, wait. Yeah, I can't do that. I have to pick him up with the ocean giant because the ocean giant doesn't yet have one. And we have to distribute them roughly evenly. So that gives us the crystal aspect. Does that do anything exciting for us? We can make salt. Salt is very versatile and can create food, wealth, tech, and awe. So I suppose we could talk about awe real quick while we're doing this as well. Awe reduces the greed of the village by increasing the threshold of resources that are necessary to produce greed. Awe can be very valuable if you're on a greed-heavy strategy. Okay, so we have gotten the prosperity of the village to 175. It is unlikely that we'd be able to pull off 250 prosperity, and it's unlikely that we're going to get 5 ocean patches out of this. I don't know if we can get the village to expand that much, but this is kind of an unusual challenge. Now we have to remove these other villages, unfortunately. I don't think it really makes a lot of sense for us to try to keep them around and grow them anymore. So we have 2 abilities that can negatively affect villages. The Earth Giant can use his Earthquake ability. It's not really Earthquake, he just sort of destroys the village by punching. And we also have a Muck Bomb from our Swamp Giant. The Muck Bomb is less effective against villages, but more effective against armies. And that is something that we may have to be concerned about later in the game when we're trying to manipulate how villages go to war with each other and stuff. We're going to have to remove some of these resources for sure. So unfortunately we're going to have to wait for some cooldowns. And let's see if we can get this village's prosperity up a little bit. So what hasn't advanced that could advance? We could advance this stone into something else, see if we can improve it. We could turn it into salt. I'm not 100% sure what all the properties of the plants and everything are anymore because it's been a long time since I played the game. So let's experiment a little bit and figure out what things do. This will be a good opportunity for us to do that. So throw a crystal aspect on that. He's still not ready yet. The Muck Bomb is usable more frequently than Earthquake is. Alright. So salt requires 10 food and 10 tech in use in its city. It produces awe for each animal next to it, and tech and wealth for each non-salt mineral next to it. And then we can turn it into onyx with a potent crystal aspect, or some other things maybe later. 1.5 wealth for each 1 natura on this patch. That's actually pretty cool. So unfortunately, that really murders the tech of the village, but it's a lot of extra money. And remember, no matter what we do to this village's growth, it's not going to gain any greed because of all of the danger. The intense danger that is posed by these sea bass. Oh my god, these villages are so resistant. Alright, I think we can use Earthquake to remove the resources here. No, can I not? Oh yeah, they have hit points. We might want to use Muck Bomb for this because Muck Bomb is available so much more frequently. Alright, what else could be upgraded? Unfortunately, we don't have hunt or herd aspects. The apple tree's upgraded all the way. We can't do anything else with a fox. Fox is pretty good, though. The Onyx does have extra slots here. If we could get up to 7 Natura, that would be really cool. So I don't think we have any way of adding Natura to a mineral, though. Okay, so you can see the global prosperity bar fills as we make our villages more prosperous, and you only get a nomad every so many points of prosperity. So we don't have to worry about people constantly resettling. If we keep burning down the villages, eventually we will run out of nomads. Alright, this still has its buff for 220. I guess we just throw crystal aspects onto it, right? There's nothing else to do with the slots. There's no sense in not including all of the resources that we can here. We do have to be a little bit careful about predator aspects. And I don't have any other animal aspects, right? Right. Oh, I guess I do have this. We could be adding noble aspects to our minerals instead. We can't, I think... I don't think we can quite get this patch to 7 Natura. If we could, the fruit aspects would be a little bit better. We'll try throwing the leaf aspect on here and seeing how much we can get out of it. Plus 2, so unfortunately we got it to 6. That's a shame. The chicken can't really take an upgrade because we don't have any upgrades that won't cause the chickens to start killing everybody. Oh, we could do another... you can see the city is more capable of handling danger now. We could do another predator upgrade in the water. So let's go do that. Where is my forest giant? I gotta remember which giant is assigned to which number here. Deers, boars, heavily in this model, and gray foxes. That's right. I said that we lost some wealth due to replacing some mackerel, but this actually doesn't affect mackerel at all, does it? So unfortunately, waiting on cooldowns. That's one of the reasons that the Ocean Giant's Monsoon skill is valuable. Is that it produces a, uh-oh. We're gonna have to destroy another village, probably. I'll just send this guy over here. Yeah, here he comes. One of the reasons that the Monsoon skill is so valuable is that the Forest Giant's fertility boost has a pretty long cooldown. Alright, so this is 250 prosperity. I don't really see that happening if we can't get a little bit of extra growth here. You know what we should do? Actually, we should probably do our fertility boost over here. And turn these guys into foxes. Because foxes seem to be pretty good. Alright, I doubt we're going to make it to 250 in 2 minutes, but we can try. Actually, foxes are really high danger. Okay, we pushed the danger all the way up to 18. We're okay. And then we just put a chicken down right past them to boost their wealth value. It's actually for each chicken, so we'll put another chicken down here as well. Once we have the cooldown up for that. So what else can we upgrade? We should get every single point of resources jammed in here that we can. Unfortunately, we're a little bit animal heavy, and we're not that good at surviving the upgrades that we can put on animals. Well, that's a little bit of misplay, probably. I probably could have done this in a better way. But, you know, we're still reacclimating to the game. So this will bump them up to 6 gold. So, unfortunately, the village's wealth is, it's not going to get anywhere near 250. But we did at least accomplish this weird challenge. And let's have a little zoom in here. Now that we've got a proper... What did we upgrade this to? A temple. You can see now there's actual, like, monks milling around about the populace. There's people sweeping and having conversations about art and the kind of beer that you put in barrels and then put a handle on the side of. It does look like they're still constructing new stuff. Is that indicative of growth in the city borders or anything? No, it doesn't seem to be. The borders haven't grown in some time. I imagine we'd have to get the prosperity of the village way up. I think we're just going to let the giants rest here. Overall, I think this went quite well. So, that's going to be pretty much it for this episode of Reus, as the giants fall asleep here. Come back next time for some other kind of exciting challenge. I don't know. We're probably going to go really hard again and try to just get the maximum global prosperity, because that does seem to be the best way to encourage really, really huge growth. I'm going to probably want to put a fish like 3, maybe even 4 tiles out from the water, because if you can encourage the village to settle right up against the coast, there are projects that they can build on the water, and that might allow us to get 5 patches into a single city. I think that's going to have to be our plan next time. Alright, let's see what challenges we got here before we sign off. I'm sure it's just the one. Oh, we've advanced to level 2. We've unlocked a bunch of new projects because we achieved enough total things. And we've unlocked the Javelina or Javelina. I'm going to go ahead and look that up so I know how to pronounce it for the next episode. So come back next time for huge global prosperity. And we'll see you then.